Hi everybody. In this video, we're going to talk about how to make any budget go a long way. And this is not going to be a sort of cut details out type video. It's going to be a how do you take the expensive things that you're buying within a project, reduce the cost on the expensive things, cabinetry, countertop, appliances, labor, and then get the details that everybody wants. Most people, when they do a remodel, the thing they end up loving every morning when they wake up are the little details, the backsplash that they think is beautiful, or the faucet that they really wanted, or the hardware that they dreamed of, or the pendant lights that they added. And in order to get there, we're going to do this from what would be like a $50,000 kitchen perspective. So as I sort of use numbers, I'm going to try and say, hey, we're using a $50,000 kitchen remodel as a baseline number. So as I talk about cabinetry, I'm going to give ways to save a couple $1,000s in cabinetry. Think the cabinetry in this project is something like $20,000. And that's not an abnormal number on a $50,000 remodel. So when we think about cabinetry, or when we talk about cabinetry, I think one of the, in our industry, everybody wants to sell plywood cabinetry, and a lot of customers, a lot of potential remodeling homeowners want to spend a lot of time talking about the construction of the cabinetry. And I will tell you, plywood cabinetry is great, and it is sturdier. If I wanted to throw a bowling ball at my cabinetry, I would definitely buy plywood cabinetry. With that said, it is more expensive than the alternative, which is particle board cabinetry. With all of that said, particle board cabinetry is fine, to be quite honest. We urge people to buy particle board all the time. Especially in a kitchen setting, particle board is fine. And Angela's going to show some pictures right now of the difference in appearance of particle board and plywood cabinetry. And what you're going to see is they look exactly the same. So now, if you're sort of unwilling to go particle board the whole way, I think a way to sort of save some money is to just do an island. So if you have an island, just do the island in particle board. You can save quite a bit of money. You can, and the thing about an island is if somehow you were bowling in your house and the bowling ball went through the cabinetry, you can replace an island without replacing flooring, without doing much work other than replacing the island. Now, a lot of times you need a new countertop and such, but if there was any sort of real damage, you can replace that island and get away with not modifying flooring and things like that. So, at a minimum, save money on the island cabinetry, do it in particle board. You'll save quite a bit of money. And depending on the size of the island, that's $1,000+ savings. Another large portion of the remodeling cost is going to be countertops. And we say this all the time. Be willing to buy remnants, split what the island cabinetry and the perimeter cabinetry look like. So if you have an island, and it's going to be generally less square footage, depending on the size of the island, use a statement piece there. Use a more expensive countertop material that you really like and you want in your kitchen, because again, those are the details that people really love. And on the perimeter, save yourself some money. And a lot of times on that perimeter, you can drop down a tier of countertop material, save yourself $500, $1,000, and again, you save that money, you keep that in the budget, and you move it towards the details that everybody loves. Another thing on countertops is, so quartz is at the time of this video, probably the predominant countertop material. There's a little bit of a premium for quartz. 20 years ago, granite was the predominant countertop material. Granite still exists, and a lot of times you can get a really nice granite, and it's not as expensive as quartz. And that's where good designers are very, very helpful, knowing what is good looking, what's available, and how to tie these things together where you can save some money. But using granite as a countertop material is still totally doable and looks great. Appliances. So we don't get into appliances. We don't talk a ton about appliances. Be reasonable on your appliances. I know the La Cornue stove is beautiful. I don't know. Well, basically nobody's buying La Cornue, but people want to do these. They want to get into these 6-burner Wolf and chef level ranges. And I will tell you, most people do not ever actually get usefulness out of that. So it's essentially a design detail more than it is a function thing. So if your thought is function, make sure you're going to use it. If it's a design detail, It's a very expensive design detail. And you can actually get your standard 30-inch ranges in very designer-oriented ranges at this point. So, be cautious on the appliances, and there's a huge step up as you go from a more moderately priced kit appliance line to something like a Thermador or a Wolf, because you're going to get into these built-in refrigerators and counter-depth refrigerators or built-in refrigerators, and they're very expensive. And the jump is thousands and thousands of dollars. Do not change your floor plan. If you can get away with taking out the old cabinetry and leaving what is the same floor plan and or sort of moving into the existing floor and just going in a lineal line in that floor where you just cut out the floor and you can reuse the old floor, that saves a ton of money. Flooring, if you're gonna redo the floor, which many kitchen remodel projects include redoing the floor, LVT at this point is a very nice product. It is a very realistic product. It is something that we install on if we're doing flooring on our kitchen remodels, that's what we use probably 9 out of 10 times, to be quite honest. It's affordable. You can find LVT that is very, very well priced. It's easy to install. And as you get into some of these other flooring types, the labor to install goes up dramatically. This next one is going to be, I think, pretty straightforward, but I will say it. Hire a contractor or an installer that has experience. We see this, we obviously live in this world. We see this, but we'll see contractors come in and go, the labor's $10,000. And the homeowner says, well, this guy's $10,000. And we're just selling materials to these people, right? And they're sort of doing their own general contracting. And they say, well, this guy's $10,000 and these other two are $17,000. And we go, yeah, that one at $10,000, get rid of that guy. You should be scared when you see things like that. And experience dictates how good an installer is. An installer who's been installing kitchens for a year is not nearly as good as a guy who's been doing it for 5. Experience, you can't teach the experience, unfortunately. And I think a lot of this gets into when you think about, well, one's 17 and one's 10, go read the proposal. I'm going to almost guarantee you the one who's 10, the proposal's this long, and the one who's 17, the proposal's this long. And the one at 10, they forget stuff. They don't take good notes. They leave stuff out. And when it's not in the contract and you're on the other end of this where they've already started to install and you go, no, I want this. They're not obligated to do the thing that wasn't in that little contract. So as you start to go out and get bids and look at the contractors or the installers, you got to really look at the proposal and you got to think, well, if one's 17 and one's 10, what am I missing here? And I'd be very scared of the 10. Another thing related to labor is don't move mechanicals. So if you move your sink, it costs money. If you move your range, it costs money. If you move your refrigerator, it costs money. If you can avoid moving those, you're going to save money on the labor. And the last sort of topic in this video is, and this sort of is a tricky concept for people, but as you add materials, you're almost always going to add labor. Right? So you might say, I want a backsplash, which we think, right? What's the idea behind this video? Save several $100s or thousands of dollars on some of these bigger things so you can get the details. You can get that hardware you really like. You can get the backsplash you really like. But people say, well, I want this backsplash. Awesome. And it's $20 a square foot for the tile. Sweet. Well, you also have labor. Well, now the labor to do the backsplash is an additional $1,000. People just go, well, the tile is this, and they sort of forget that labor component. And generally speaking, as you add additional pieces of material, you're often adding additional labor. And the whole goal here, and the thing we want everybody to think about is, if you can save $2,000 or $1,000 on cabinetry by having particle board on your island, you now get to buy the $20 square foot backsplash tile as opposed to the $10 per square foot backsplash tile, right? And that little level of detail where you go, man, that $20 piece of tile is the tile I really like. That's the thing when I'm sitting there in the morning sipping my coffee that I'm going to see and I'm going to look at and I'm going to feel good about, and I'm really going to like, I'm going to love that detail. That's the thing we want people to get out of their kitchens. If all you do is go, I have $50,000 and try and buy as many cabinet boxes as you can, and skimp on the light fixtures and the hardware and all of these sort of finished details, You don't walk into your kitchen and think, oh, I love my kitchen. You walk into your kitchen and think, well, I maximize the cupboard space. And that's not, most people don't love those kitchens when they're done. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful. If there's anything we can do for you, if you're watching this video somewhere and we're not even a potential installer for you, we'd love to help you out. Don't be afraid to reach out, call us, talk to us. We're always here to help. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it.